Welcome to Book Talks, the show that speaks to education, health, entrepreneurship, and so much more.
Hello South Africa, welcome to another episode of Book Talks. I am your host Mjezi Makuba, Nemkororo Waha Makuba. With me today I have my wonderful and beautiful guest, Miss Anjani Harjeven. I hope I pronounced your name well.
You did. Thank you, Mjezi. Thank you so much for having me.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I think the weather's changing, but the sun still shines inside.
Yeah, and it's very cold here. Especially having to get up in the morning.
Exactly, in the dark.
It's such a struggle.
But I think as South Africans, we have light inside of us, so we don't have to worry about bad weather, right?
That's deep. So, Miss Anjani Harjeven, or should I call you Anjani?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Perfect.
Can you tell us more about yourself?
Sure. And it's always difficult when someone asks a question like that. Where do you start, you know? But I think what I really want to share about myself is I'm a change maker. I'm never satisfied with the status quo. I'm always thinking about how do we make the world a better place for those that come after us. And that sounds great, but very practically, I'm the CEO at an organization called Womhub. And every day I get to live that truth, thinking about how it is that we build capacity in women for the future. But I'm also a really proud mom of a 16-year-old daughter. And that is also a continuous source of inspiration to me. Personally, I love to travel. I love to see the world.
I also love traveling.
I love travel. And I'm lucky that part of my job allows me to see different parts of the country and the world. I believe that you learn a lot more from experiences than material possessions. So that in summary is me.
Wow, that's very fascinating, hey? You seem like someone with a lot of depth.
Thank you.
You see, especially the part where you said that you are not someone who's easily fascinated by material possessions. Because I also do value experiences.
Okay.
You see, it's something that no one can take away from you.
Absolutely.
Like beautiful memories with your family.
Yeah.
Those are the things that last forever.
Exactly. I think that other things can come and go, you know.
Yeah.
And of course it's important. It's important for us to be able to provide for our families. It's important for us to have economic growth and strength. But at the end of the day, what is it that you take with you? You know, you keep with you those memories, you build relationships and connections with people. And for me, that's what really makes the difference.
Wow. So can you tell us, Anton, about Womhub and also its mission when it comes to empowering women in STEM?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And I think Womhub is an organization with an absolute mission to transform the STEM industry. Now, the first question is, what's STEM, right? And for us, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And the reason why we've chosen to focus on STEM industries or careers is because if you think about those fields, they have traditionally been male-dominated, just from where we've come from. But also, those are the fields in which we are going to see the large job creators of the future. And so if you think about it, if you're getting into manufacturing, the hope and the idea is that when you start your manufacturing plant, you're going to be providing and creating a lot of jobs for the future. And so really at Womhub, what we're trying to think about is, as an organization, how is it that we support women in being great talent and thinking about making sure that women are suited to the jobs that are in demand now and in the future. And then we also develop entrepreneurs for building and growing their businesses so that we can stimulate economic activity in our country and on the continent, and so that we can see that through entrepreneurship and through building small businesses, we can create more jobs, we can get more money flowing in the economy, and we can give our children a better future. In addition to that, those are programs that we run for young women and for entrepreneurs. But we also have innovation hubs in Johannesburg, Cape Town, and East London, and hoping to expand soon. Wow. So watch the space. And then the last thing that we do is we think about development and training is great, but it can only go so far unless you can get money and finance into the hands of the women who need it the most. And so we're looking at financing and funding opportunities for women with their own businesses to help them grow their businesses.
Wow, interesting. So if I have to ask, do you only focus on providing these opportunities to women? And why women? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's intentionally the answer is yes, but it's not at the exclusion of men. And the reason why is Womhub has been doing this work in supporting young female engineers and tech talent as well as entrepreneurs for going on 20 years. And the reason is that it was born out of a lived experience for women who felt that in these traditionally male-dominated spaces, it still feels quite lonely to be a woman. And I think that was why we said we really want to focus on creating the same playing field for everyone.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that men don't participate in it because women do. It's about how do we make the whole pie available to everyone.
Yeah.
And then we compete on an equal level and the best person wins. At the moment, we're not there. The opportunities are not the same for men and women. The reality is that particularly in spaces such as engineering, manufacturing, mining, we've still got a lot of work to do for women to be able to have their voices heard in those environments. And so we intentionally do focus on developing women, but I always say that I would love to not be doing this job and having Womhub be much broader in who they support in a few years' time, because that means we've done our jobs, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
for all of us, I think that that's what we have to recognize is we have to, as with so many things in our country, we have to put in the work to get the playing field right. And then once we're there, we can start focusing on other things.
Wow, you know what? I like the fact that you are saying that you are not trying to be like men. You're just trying to make sure that you are within the same pool where both genders are sharing the bread, if I should say it.
Exactly.
Yeah, together.
Exactly.
Because I feel like it's very easy these days for women empowerment to get to a point where now as a woman I feel like I need to be like a man in order for me to be able to be successful or to succeed within a male-dominated environment.
Exactly.
And when that happens, I end up losing my femininity because I feel like in order for me to make it, I need to be like a man.
100%.
Whereas that is not how it's supposed to be.
Not at all. And
Yeah.
actually, if you look at the research and why is it a good idea, so one is we're 50% of the population, so we should be involved in, there should be a level playing field, as I said. But the reality is that what you're trying to do is you're trying to bring diversity
Yeah.
to businesses and to workplaces, right? If you then go out and you say, well, I want to be exactly like my male counterpart, you're losing that diversity
Wow.
in thinking and in how we show up. And what they have found through many years of research across the world, and particularly on the continent, is that women bring different methods in the way that they come up with solutions to problems, how they communicate, all of that. So you want that creativity, you want that problem solving, you want that different way of thinking about things to come to the place. And if you start wanting to be exactly like your male counterparts, you lose that.
Wow.
And there's even an economic component to that. So because of the way women think and solve problems, they also have a different way in which they think about business growth and how they think about. One of our co-founders always says that when you give women money, it's almost like it does yoga or Pilates, because it's just able to go that much further.
Yeah.
And so you start seeing that businesses are actually able to achieve different economic results as well as a result of having women. So what you want is the mix. You don't want
Yeah.
everyone to be the same, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because diversity is beautiful, eh?
Absolutely.
Especially
Yeah.
when we are proud of who we are,
Exactly.
our own identity.
Yes.
You see, I embody who I am,
Yeah.
so that when the next person comes close to me, they are able to work with me as an authentic individual,
Exactly.
not as someone who's trying to copy someone else.
Yeah. And where I can bring my whole self,
Yeah,
right?
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank
So,
you.
do you have any success stories that you can share when it comes to the women who have benefited on Womhub?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope I'm
Thank
pronouncing
you.
Womhub because
Yeah, that's-
sometimes I feel like saying woman hub. I don't know why.
Womhub is absolutely perfect. That's the organization, and I think I love that question because that's really where the magic lies in being able to tell the stories of success. And I think I'll start and talk about kind of the two components. For me, the one is where you see women who, so we run programs as early as high school, where we start with high school girls who are thinking about pursuing maths and science careers, but they're not yet sure. Because the role models in their communities are still few when it comes to, you know, engineers or maths professionals or science. Or so we go and we run these programs, and what is so incredible is that you're able to see a girl or girls leave those workshops with a passion to say, oh my gosh, there's a possibility for me and potential in me to be able to play in this space. So the first success story I'm going to talk about is we have had a particular girl, but we've had so many who attended what we call the Girl Eng program when she was in high school. She then decided to pursue an engineering degree. She completed engineering and she went to join a large engineering mining company and succeeded as a female engineer. And then she left that company to start her own business. And she now employs young female engineers.
Wow, impressive.
And like that's almost like the circularity of what you want to talk about is once you're developed and you show that you can make it, you use your voice to tell others it's possible, but also then you kind of say, what's the role I can play in job creation? So that's a really incredible story to be able to tell. The other is the types of entrepreneurs that we have had the privilege of supporting through our incubator and accelerator programs, which is unbelievable. It is women solving real community problems, but not in traditional ways. We've got women who are creating biodiesel fuels.
Wow.
We've got women who are creating farming platforms to aggregate farmers so that they have a bigger marketplace that they can access. We've got women doing the most incredible things when it comes to technology solutions. We've supported women who are thinking about climate, but in what that means in Africa, and thinking about like solar bakeries, and what does that mean for people who don't have access to electricity. So we've had the privilege of working with these entrepreneurs who are saying that we've already got the lionesses of Africa already know how to run businesses. It's in our blood, right?
Yeah.
But these women are standing up and saying, help me grow, support me with the tools and the resources I need to build my business so that I can compete, but also so that I can provide economic growth and activity back to my country and to my continent.
Oh, that is beautiful, hey?
Thank you.
Especially into considering what we and where we are coming from as women. For us to be this innovative and be able to create the things that you're telling me,
No, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing and beautiful.
And you know, when we run women in engineering or women in mining or women in tech programs, people say to us, I don't know if you're going to find enough women for your cohort. And every single time we run a cohort, we have more applications than spaces. And that tells you that there is incredible work being out there, and there's a demand for women saying, we don't want handouts. We want technical assistance. We want resources and tools to help us grow our businesses. And that's what we're finding, and that's why we want to spread the word, not only to these incredible businesses, to say there is support with organizations like ours, but we also want to say to partners, our model is that we work with incredible partners, large corporates, philanthropies, and government agencies. If you fund us, we're able to then directly work with these female entrepreneurs to make sure that their businesses survive, but also thrive.
Wow, that's amazing, hey? Even the success story that you've just shared now, you've changed another person's life, another child's life.
Exactly.
And to me, that is creating a legacy.
Absolutely.
That even when we leave this world, you see, you have changed someone's life in such an incredible way. As you've said, it's going to create a cycle where now she's also going to be able to help other people.
Exactly.
Because you've mentored or you've become a role model to her in order for her to be able to do that.
Yeah. And again, I want to say that the importance of male champions in that space. You know, yes, we talk about the girl child. Yes, we talk about the female entrepreneur. But your male champions and the whole system working is so important.
Yeah.
So it's not about excluding the group. We have significant challenges in our country around letting young people know that each one of them matters. And so this, as I said earlier, this is about, those are the stories we're able to tell. As those women come back into those places and talk about their personal journeys, they're going to be saying, hey, there's space for all of us.
Yeah.
Think about who you are as an individual, and how is it that we're going to come together and really make the changes that we need to see in our country. We need to create a future that our youth wants to be part of, right? We don't want to alienate them. We don't want them to even think about living in South Africa, because the reality is people leave and they come back, because this is
Yeah.
where you want to be. And I
right.
think that that's a joint conversation and a joint action that we need to be doing as men and women.
Definitely. So, apart from what you've said, what are some of the challenges or problems that you are currently solving within the STEM industry, if I should say it?
No, thank you. And I think it sounds, I'm so privileged that I get to wake up in the morning and do this work. But there are significant challenges that we face alongside and with the entrepreneurs and the incredible young people that we support. And the first is, I think, the fact that our cultural and socio-economic norms mean that as women, we do have mindset or psychological issues that we need to be able to share with others, just coming to the space. So believing I can, understanding that this can be a business, and I have the right to make this into a business and see myself succeed. So I think that's the first thing around what is the support that's required in that space. And it's really important in a country like ours with such high levels of violence against women. The second component still is access. And our founders and our women are telling us that it's not just access. Like I said, women don't want handouts. What they're looking for is access to market. So help me open the door so that I can sell my product or service. And alongside that, access to opportunities. So when I have access to clients, where do I get the support to make sure that I'm contract ready, for example? So I'm able to meet all the requirements that a corporate would need for me to be able to deliver the contract. And the third one is, of course, access to financing. So I think, we often hear about, there's so much aid coming into Africa and South Africa, and, there's all these funding opportunities. But we really need to help women think about, how do you understand what money you need and what are you going to use it for, so that you're accessing the right type of financing for your needs. And with that, then you've got to think about growth. So in summary, I would say those are the significant challenges that we are tackling. Access to market, access to opportunities, access to funding, and then the psychology around all of it is really, really important for women.
Okay, so how do you think these challenges can be tackled?
With organizations like us? No, I'm joking, and I'm very proud of the work that Womhub does. But a couple of things, and we've had the benefit, and I have to just plug that I'm so proud that we hold the presidency for G20 this year in South Africa, because it's given us the opportunity to have some of these real conversations. And in some of the conferences we've been going to and some of the conversations we've been having both at B20 and at G20 gatherings, is that what I'm learning most is that it's an opportunity for us to join the dots. And what I mean by that is the way to tackle the challenges is realize that no one organization, entity, government, private entity can do it on their own. And so a platform like the G20 allows the great work to be profiled, but the work and the legacy that's going to remain with us is how do we join the dots to make sure that we change ecosystems. And I'll give you a good example. So we talk about access to funding and financing being a challenge for women entrepreneurs, right? But what that requires is not only making sure, here you go, you've got more money. That's not the only answer, right? It's about making sure that when I go to a bank, do they understand my needs? And do they have the products available to think about my credit and risk worthiness in a different way? because I am maybe a little more risky than a corporate, but I've got lots of other things that I bring to the table as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right? So you're challenging the system when it comes to banks and corporate systems. Then you need government, because you need to partner with government to say, do the policies and the regulations support small business? And how do we continue to drive in there? And then the individual entrepreneurs need to come to the party to say, I'm going to put in the work. I will make myself accountable for my own growth, and I will give forward by making sure I provide decent work and jobs to my community and to my fellow comrades to make sure that the country grows.
Wow, that is interesting, eh? So, what you just said, now I am very curious, like, how is the community in Womhub, how is it like? The community
It's
with...
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, when we run programs, we always say that then you're in the love bubble of Womhub, because you apply on an application, you get selected, and you work very closely with us. And depending on the program, that can be 6 months, it can be a year, it just depends. But I think, and what we really drive through that process and after you complete your program is this concept of building a tribe. It talks to who we are as Africans,
Yeah.
but also we find that the language around building the tribe is so powerful, because many female entrepreneurs today still feel that running your business is quite lonely. And so what this allows you to do is to create a community of female entrepreneurs who understand your challenges, who understand your ambitions, and who can also collaborate and partner with you. And so that's how community works. We stay in touch with these incredible platforms, WhatsApp groups, access platforms where they can continue to get access to the tools and the resources they get on the program. And then we have a number of community events. We'll host events in our hubs and open that up to broader groups of people, so that we're able to network, build those networks, and think about how is it that I grow my community from there. And then also we, as much as possible, we try and provide opportunities for entrepreneurs to tell their story. Because me telling Womhub's story, but also the story of the entrepreneur that benefited from the Womhub program is not enough.
Yeah.
They need to be able to tell their own story, right? And so I think that's how we kind of build and grow community. And on the talent side, we try trying more and more to get out into the communities in our spaces to make sure that they understand what is the work that's being done, but more importantly, what are the opportunities available for young people in the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics spaces. We have this iconic pink hard hat, and I'm really sorry, I'm going to bring one through to you, which defines who we are as an organization, but symbolizes the mission that we support. And the reason why we use a pink hard hat that has become so symbolic for us is because it talks to the fact that women have the desire, the right, and the need to be in these male-dominated spaces. But as you said earlier, not to be as men, but to bring our uniqueness to that. And that's an incredible symbol, and it's so nice to go out to communities and you start seeing these pink hard hats popping up, which is incredible.
I wish you brought some, because
we're going to get one too.
I wanted to wear one.
It was raining this morning, so that was an oversight on our part.
It's fine. So Ntunu, what are some of the trends that you've noticed when it comes to women in tech or in STEM?
Yeah, I mean, we spend a lot of time, and we're really focusing on technology for women-led businesses now, because we recognize that if you have limited resources, technology enablement is going to be a way to get you there. The reality is, for entrepreneurs in our communities, we really have to think about access. So making sure that they have access to digital infrastructure, and that's not only Wi-Fi and data, but it's also the fact that the infrastructure around their businesses needs to support what they need to do. If we get that right, what we're finding is that there's a massive opportunities for female entrepreneurs to really look at their businesses and say, how does technology enable me providing a better product or service? And we're seeing this certainly in the platform space. So how do I make my product or service known to more people? That's an absolute opportunity for everyone in the space. So how do you get into virtual marketplaces, into these platforms that can really give you more reach? No one of us can travel from province to province to province selling our good. We've got to run our businesses, right?
Yeah.
So digital is the way to go and to get that reach. The other opportunity that we're seeing with the tech enablement is really how is it that we use technology in a way to support our business processes and making our product and or our service marketable. And so thinking about where in your business can you put technology in to make it better. And I think the biggest trend that we're seeing is, of course, everyone's talking about AI, but we've got to get really practical around AI. And at Womhub, we talk about something called frugal innovation, which means that none of us have huge amounts of money to bring in developers from overseas to help us build this. So the thing about AI is it gives you access that you never had before to start thinking about how can this support me in my business. And you don't have to do it alone. You can start thinking about relevance for your business and how do I bring this in. And I think what we're going to start seeing is entrepreneurs really being able to map out what does this mean for me very personally in the next year or two.
Okay, well, interesting. So how can I put it? Why science, engineering, and technology, and not other fields? What inspired you or motivated you to focus only on these subjects?
Yeah. So I think, every single business out there is important. And I think every ambition that anyone has needs to be nurtured and supported. But I think that there is a lot of generic support, and we just need to find it and make sure that if that's what you're looking for, you need to find who gives you that support. When we looked at what is in a sense, what is the problem we're trying to solve, which we say to the people that we support, what we recognized is that, first of all, we needed to look at previously male-dominated spaces because our organization is trying to affect change. And so we really wanted to say, you can't be all things to all people. So how do we focus on the male-dominated spaces and say, these are the changes that can be made. And once we start seeing diversity in those spaces, we'll have some wins. But the second thing is that we truly believe that in technology, engineering, mining, and manufacturing is where the job creators of the future are going to sit. And we've had so many conversations at roundtables with various stakeholders, be it public sector, be it private sector, saying that no one part of our country can create jobs on their own. And so you've got to look to these small businesses to say, we know we have an unemployment crisis. We know we have youth who are saying, I want to give something to my country, but I'm feeling disempowered, or I'm feeling like I'm not sure what to do with that energy. We've got to get those people into workplaces. We've got to get them with the skills, the relevant skills that they need to be able to perform in the future. And so when you look at the big numbers of where jobs are going to be created, we believe that they come out of the STEM fields. And so rather than try and be everything to all people and then you kind of sprinkle impact, we said actually we want to go deep with the impact that we're able to deliver and rather be focused. And that's the reason why we chose to focus on STEM.
Oh, that's beautiful, eh? So what would you say to that person or to a woman who would like to get involved in the STEM industry? What are those beautiful words that you would like to shower them with?
Thank you, and I'm going to look right directly at you,
Yeah.
is that it is possible and you deserve to be there. And that sounds, very overarching, but I think, we have heard the voices and seen the faces of incredible women who have made it through in those careers. We have seen, not without challenge, we have seen the most incredible business leaders in engineering, business leaders in technology, who are shaping and changing the world. And of course, we have seen the most incredible, as I said to you, women entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So I think you've got to believe that you can. You've got to stay curious. You've got to, even the world of engineering and technology is completely different to when we started working, right? So you've got to stay curious and think about like what's new, what's exciting, how do I want to add my gift in the world? And I think don't ever accept a closed door. You know, just kind of treat it as wind that has temporarily closed that door down, and just push even harder to bash that door down. Because I do think that if you understand this is where my strength and my skills lie, then you do have a place in the STEM careers of the future.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful.
Thank
I hope
you.
they're listening, hey? And
I
hope
hope so too.
they are taking notes.
I hope so too. And we have a number of programs on the go at the moment.
Okay.
Our programs are all application based, but there's so many opportunities for people to get involved. So I would really encourage you. We have our Girl Inch programs, which, as I said, are for high school students. We've got a tech camp coming up both in Joburg and Cape Town. Unfortunately, that's closed for this round, but that will happen at the end of June. We have our fellowship program both at TVET and at universities, supporting skills for jobs for young women. And we have a number of incubator and accelerator programs for female entrepreneurs. And so anyone who wants to learn more can jump onto our website at www.womhub.com or any of the socials, Instagram, Facebook, and of course LinkedIn is where all of us should be.
Yes.
And you just search Womhub and you'll find us there.
Oh, perfect. So one more question. Eh?
Yes.
So what has been the most fulfilling part of your Womhub journey?
Sure. I have to say I'm going to split the question or the answer into two. But I think the most fulfilling part for me is when we get to truly see the impact that we make. So we are not the story. Womhub is not the story. When you're able to see an entrepreneur who delivers on a project for a large corporate and is employing 50 people on that contract, for me that is the most fulfilling. And they come back and they say, you know, the reason why I was able to is because of the learnings that I got from the program. So being able to be part of and see the impact, I think for me is the most fulfilling. But the other part is incredible people I get to work with. I work with not a huge team, but it takes heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears to do this work. And I think, you know, when people think about impact organizations, they think that it's really nice, women empowerment is great, but it's really hard work. You face significant challenges, and you're also trying to get through the day just in your own life, you know. And I am surrounded by the most incredible team, my project managers, our support teams, our hub teams, our teams in like across the board. They are so incredible. And I'm supported by both the team and the leadership team that allows us to do the work that we do. And I think if you've got that support, it allows you to kind of hold the flag even higher. So those are the things that really keep me fulfilled.
Wow. That is beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So, and thank you so much for joining us. It was such an honor having another woman who's able to do all of these things, all of these incredible things, and changing people's lives.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people look up to you, and not only your children, but South Africa as a whole,
Thank you.
even the world as well.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. It's not a job that we do alone, but I think we have to come together to really be the change that we want to see. That I think was so well put. So thank you for having me, and hopefully we see each other again soon with a pink hard hat.
Yes, I want that picture.
With pleasure.
I want to show off.
Okay,
I'll
cool.
take lots and lots of pictures and post on social media.
Awesome, we'll make that
Yeah.
happen. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Vogue Talks. From me, your host, Munjezi Wahamakuba. Bye.